And it's like saying climate change is like saying meat and protein. They just go together. Climate change, meat and protein, they go together. The climate is always changing. But for us to claim that we are high enough as gods that we can control the weather, it's insurmountable. But nonetheless, with that said, how do they want to stop Texas? Well, first of all, they shut down oil production in the Gulf. That's one. That move alone costed an estimated 13,000 jobs in the Gulf region, 19,000 jobs all told. Now, since the inauguration of our president, who shall not be named, there has been hundreds of billions of dollars spent, thrown in this pit of hope. It's hope for green jobs. Really, it's a hope that LED lights, cars, and solar panels will stimulate the economy. Well, I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that's not possible either. Well, let's see. First, let me give you a clear example so you understand I'm not kidding you. DeWitt County, in the state of Texas, the 19th poorest county in the nation, actually has created thousands of jobs from the Eagle Ford Shale and drilling and oil and gas exploration. Those are green jobs. Am I right or wrong? Those are green jobs, those are oil and gas jobs. Now, let us not forget that the EPA is churning out new regulations in unprecedented numbers, speed, and costs. Upwards of $19 billion, the cost of these new regulations. Wall Street Journal said that this EPA regulatory spree is unprecedented in U.S. history. Now, the EPA wants to come in and stop oil and gas exploration. Let me give you an example. Have we heard about the sagebrush dunes lizard? Yes. Yes, see, I'm preaching to the choir now. We've heard about this lizard. Well, let me tell you, first of all, I told you that Texas leads the nation in oil and gas production. Well, we get most of that from the Permian Basin, where this lizard now lives. Well, if they come in and actually declare this lizard an endangered species, you can see the effect on oil and gas production. It could take probably years. You probably won't see a new oil well in the Permian Basin for years to come. That is undaunting and ridiculous. You know, the Permian Basin produces 268 million barrels of oil in 2010 alone. Now, I have a friend, his name is Jerry Patterson. He said that, you know what, we have a reptile dysfunction. That's what he said. I laughed at him. He said we have a reptile dysfunction in the Permian Basin. I thought that was funny too. The EPA also wants to declare every breath we exhale as illegal. Every single breath. CO2 is not a pollutant, ladies and gentlemen. It is not. If you read my book, I will tell you, well, first of all, liberals are arguing over 320 parts per million in the air. Some upwards of 400 parts per million, some as low as 300 even, depending on whether or not you think the medieval period was warmer than it is now, blah, 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 blah. OSHA does not even attempt to look at CO2 as even remotely dangerous to us until it's 5,000 parts per million. You can see the great disparity here because CO2 is not a pollutant. With that said, they're doing this also while CO2 levels in the U.S. have decreased 79% since 1980. Second, Texas uses CO2 for enhanced oil recovery. That's where you actually send a CO2 down in the older oil wells to bring up new oil. So in Texas, CO2 is a commodity, not a calamity. Right. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm fast and I want to hear her. So I'm being very quick here. But as I mentioned before, Texas leads the nation in natural gas production. We produce more than 6 million cubic feet annually, all from what's commonly referred to as a controversial process of hydraulic fracturing, which is commonly referred to as fracking, where they actually send water, other chemicals, and things like that into the ground. Well, it is controversial, I must add. More research is definitely needs to be done into this to see. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't think, regardless of what happens, I don't think the environmentalists will ever be satisfied whether we stop it or not, because they will claim there's methane gas and water, air contamination, earthquakes, water use. There are a whole host of other things that will go into it. It's not just the fracking. But they want to stop one of the predominant new techniques within not only the state of Texas, but getting natural gas out of the ground, which we have estimates of 200 to 300 years worth. want to stop that. Texas Railroad Commission was under the knife this year. They wanted some folks wanted to bring it down to 1 commissioner, some wanted to keep it to 3. I will tell you this, that again, Texas is the leader, second only to the federal government in regulatory size. Texas is the leader when it comes to oil and gas production as well as regulation. And to have 1 commissioner over the largest in the nation amounts to nothing more than an oil and gas czar, and I was not having that. I called everybody I could call, anybody I could think of, because that is nothing more than 1 oil and gas czar. Being quick. She's so interested, and she thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up here. I'm just going to skip ahead because I don't want to hear Cathie. So, first, with saying that, I want to say that I believe that the current energy future for Texas is bright. If we all fight for the energy we know exists under our soil and under our feet, and we fight to make sure that no one will stop us from developing and producing our energy sources. And I say it's ours because we need to protect what's ours. And it's up to us to do so. I was quick, and I know they mentioned I could say this. Ladies and gentlemen, I am strongly considering a run for the Railroad Commission of the state of Texas coming up here in 2012. And tell you, not only from the research I've done, my education and my experience in this, I want to really protect Texas energy. It's time to protect our energy from the federal government because they're coming in, and we need to stop them, and we need to protect what's ours, what's Texas. So God bless you, God bless Texas, and now it's time to get down to the nitty-gritty. Ladies and gentlemen, Cathie Adams currently serves as the International Issues Chairman of the Eagle Forum on the board of the National Eagle Forum. She previously served 5 years as the president of the Dallas Eagle Forum and 16 years as the president of the Texas Eagle Forum until being elected chairman of the Republican Party of Texas in 2009. She was named by Campaigns and Elections magazine August 2010 issue as one of the top 50 Republican influencers in Texas. Mrs. Adams is a full-time volunteer. She has been married to Don Homer Adams for 41 years. I'm working on 3. I'm working on 3. For 41 years, and they have 5 grandchildren. Their son and daughter-in-law are both Texas A&M graduates. Fantastic. I actually have known of her. I've met her on one other occasion besides this, but I'm here to tell you the time that I met her before, she may not remember, but she impressed me. And even at the Republican convention, the time where, and I'm going to say this because the time where she lost, she showed such class and such grace. And I want to thank you for that. You really did. But she has continued to fight for the issues she believes in. And that's what I'm talking about. Somebody that fights for us and fights for the things that she believes in. So ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor and pleasure to welcome Cathie Adams.
Thank you.